Hey y'all, hey, and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my page. As you all know, very much aware, it is still October, which means that it is still Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I did a thing. I did a photo shoot for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, but had a little bit of anxiety about doing, if you will. And so I had to work through, those anxieties so that I could be able to do the photo shoot and sit before you today with a little bit of transparency. And so I made a post on Facebook. I may put it on my blog, but it was too long to go on Instagram. And so I decided to share with you all, if you don't have Facebook or what have you, what it is that I wrote on the channel and on here. The realities of breast cancer and the residual effects it has on the human brain and body are often not fully understood with its complexities when one is simply impacted vicariously. There are many who hold the belief that the most difficult moments of the journey are the diagnosis, the surgery and healing process, chemotherapy, and radiation. While those are hard, none of those experiences are resting places in terms of what it is that we, those who are directly fighting this battle, go through. Breast cancer changes your body forever. It changes you forever. Aside from hormonal changes, which includes ungodly hot flashes, shifts in your mood that you consistently have to check if you do the work, joint pain, daily medication, and an amalgamation of other things, is the mental ramifications and the disenfranchised grief that comes with trying to find acceptance and comfortability with and in your new body. But nobody talks about the disenfranchised grief. They don't talk about the struggle to find acceptance and the discomfort that you feel after a mastectomy and as you traverse this terrain. I'm gonna talk about it. Okay. If you've been following my page, if you've been following me, I'm very open about my journey and I'm gonna talk about it. I never had body image issues, y'all. Like that wasn't my thing. Being Ruby's girl, which is my beloved great grandmother, who I hold ever so dear to me, I could not. She would not allow it. I could give countless stories about, being in elementary school and going and saying, hey, and she like, and she checking that at the door. So very young, I was always very confident and very comfortable in my skin, which intimidated folks, but that's a different conversation for a different day. And, even there was one time in middle school, like I had a friend and she was thick, I guess. And so all the boys would be like talking about her and like, oh, and then like a couple of other girls like, oh, and I was like, oh, dang, like I'm thin, I'm lanky, like got long arms and legs, like I don't really have no butt and stuff, like, oh man. But it really stopped there because again, she wouldn't allow it. And I've always, like, my face card, it's never declined. And I've always had attractability. So people have always, tried to talk to me. And plus, again, I was happy with me. So I didn't care if they tried to talk to me or not. But other than that, never had body image issues until Lil C came and started minding my business. In the attempts to make you feel better and to get you to look at the positives, people who mean very well, might I add, will suggest and encourage you to be excited about the fact that you get new boobs and that you get to choose your size. Although the approach comes from a heartfelt place, it is not always that easy. See, when a woman gets cosmetic implants or any cosmetic work done on their bodies, it's typically a choice rooted in poor self-esteem. Or poor body image. They are left with the fatty tissue in their breasts and the implants just add to that. When your breasts are amputated, you are not offered that choice. I remember them telling me my mass was 15 centimeters, which was literally my entire breast because it was only 17 centimeters. I was a part of the itty bitties, which meant the fat I already didn't really have had to be scraped out of my body. It had to go. As a young single woman, this was hard for me to grapple. While yes, I made the choice to get reconstruction because let's be abundantly clear, I did not have a breast augmentation. That's a cosmetic choice. I have no fatty tissue, which means that my silicone, I think they silicone, I can't really remember, implants look just like that. Implants. Due to my skin being tight on my left side, my cancer side, and the permanent impressions radiation has left eternally, my left boob sits up. It's cute, but it has scar tissue underneath of it because they had to go in and make another incision because the skin was damaged during radiation, and so they could not use the same incision site because of the damages, and it was an issue, you know, with healing, and we didn't want that. So now that boob is a little bit tight. Like, it's just tight. It just be chilling right where it's at. My right one has settled, and because that's what they do, they settle, and it has dropped down. This one looks a little bit more, you know, natural. Just a little bit. But they're a little uneven, y'all. They just a little bit uneven, you know. And again, they just look implanty. The natural aesthetic of my breast was disrupted, and I made the choice to receive tattoos in a place where an extremity was prior, just to feel some sense of personal normality. You can insert the Kevin Hart joke here. Go ahead. It's okay. If you know, you know. I struggled with how I would explain that to men being single. What would they think or say? I didn't hate my body, but I didn't accept it either. I was angry for a long time, persistently wondering how my body, the body that I took care of, the body that I continue to take care of, could betray me. Although there are a few guys that have seen me, a few, literally like 2, I think, maybe 3. I don't know. And they reassured me and all of the things, I still was uncomfortable. And yet there were so many encouraging deposits from the amazing women in my life that, you know, guys don't care about them. And they don't. That's not what they care about, at least in my community. You know, the truth of the matter is the battle was within, and that's where the true healing had to come from. I've been uncomfortable in my body since March 3rd, 2021. Well, I was, up until recently. I've been doing tireless work, and one epiphany I had was that I can find creative hopelessness in this situation. Breast cancer takes so much, and I made the choice to no longer allow it permission to take from me in any capacity if I can control it. And this I can control. I am not required to be okay with having breast cancer or the way it has and will continue to disrupt my life, even though I am genuinely happy and living. I can find acceptance in not being okay. I am not, nor will I ever be cool with this, but I can have and will continue to find value, meaning, and hope in the midst of this thing. I touched so many with my story and my willingness to be open. And for that, I am humbled and grateful because I do it 100 times just to save another woman if I could. 2 weeks ago, I decided I wanted to be grown and do a nude photo shoot to illuminate this version of acceptance. I decided I no longer wanted to be a prisoner in my own body because I had never been that before. I wanted to show people the authentic me and empower and encourage other women who are going through a similar process and find it hard to embrace their new bodies. I had to reconnect with my body, get inside my body. I had to feel, y'all. I had to water the garden within me so that it could fully bloom. You know, when you have a garden And if you just water one side, only one side is going to bloom. But you want the whole garden to be beautiful, right? And so that's what I had to do. I genuinely appreciate every single scar because each one signifies newness and a second chance at life. If it were not for these scars, I would not be here because that's how fast my cancer was spreading, okay? Like a little wildfire. So on this final Friday of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I give you me. This me has been able to rise above where this disease wants me to be and flourish. I am delighted in the fact that I am able to continue to drink from the well of resilience and touch so many with my transparency. I say it all the time. If I told you once, I told you twice. October is more than pink. So I am going to share some photos with you all from my shoot, just a few of my favorites. And I have to give a shout out to 416 Photography, my good friend, for making my creative vision come to life. And, you know, if you are a person who thinks the human body is taboo and you're uncomfortable with seeing skin, you're missing the entire point. And your discomfort is personal. It doesn't have anything to do with me. But to my sisters in battle, to my sisters in battle, again, acceptance doesn't mean that you have to be okay with your breast being amputated. Acceptance doesn't mean that you have to be okay with the fact that Lil C has just came and did his big one. You don't have to be okay with those things, but I will encourage you. I will encourage you to find acceptance in this, find value in this, find meaning in this, and embrace the body that you have, even though it betrayed you. I love y'all. I love me. It's always going to be okay forever. T strong. Happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Be gracious to yourselves. Be patient with yourselves and be kind to yourselves. I'll see y'all next time.